You are a healer. You have a gift. You've brought me home, Belisa. Beautiful, she called me. I looked exactly like her, with brown eyes too big for my head and long, dark, unruly hair. I'm not, Mama. I'm just a girl, and we're still in California, I said to her. She didn't respond. She was too far gone. Most of the time she was despondent like this. There would be the occasional nonsensical observation, and then she would go back to quietly mourning my father. She existed in a grief-filled world that was off-limits to the living. She existed in the past, and I knew I would never be able to help her, which made it the second time in my short life that I felt utterly powerless. She spent most of that weekend in the cab of our truck, or the dingy motel room where we were staying, while I practiced and competed. I brought her meals and made sure she was okay before I went back to tending to the horses. I was scheduled to race for the last time on Sunday afternoon, so I spent the morning watching the other events, sitting atop the corral just outside of the arena. It was a small rodeo composed basically of a main arena and two corrals, freckled by a few sets of old wooden bleachers. There wasn't much money in the purses at those rodeos, but it was good practice, and it wasn't too far for me to drive. During the men's team roping finals, one of the horses, saddled and waiting in the corral, sauntered over to me. She nudged my leg and sniffed at my jeans. I let her smell my shoes, and then I pushed back against the front of her face, in the space between her eyes and nose. Go. Get out of here. As soon as the words left my lips, I heard a brief whistle. Across the corral stood a man, his face shadowed by the large brim of his black Stetson. The mare left my side abruptly and trotted over to him. I watched as he climbed into the saddle with grace before giving the horse a subtle foot command to move forward into the arena. His team roping partner entered from the other side. Just before the steer was released, the man looked over to me and nodded. The kind of nod that means something. It's the quiet cowboy's version of a wolf whistle. I lost my balance on top of the corral and wobbled just for a moment before smiling back at him. Instantly the steer was out of the chute, followed by the men, one on each side. They roped the speeding creature in 5.5 seconds. It was fast, very fast, but not fast enough to win. I fully expected to see two sulking cowboys trot back to the gate, but only one looked totally defeated. The other, the man in the black Stetson, was smiling and riding toward me. As he approached with the reins and lasso in his left hand, he removed his hat with his right. He was so much younger than I expected, and he was grinning emphatically. Two deep dimples appeared on the sides of his boyish cheeks. "Hey there. You distracted me," he said, still smiling. "I'm sorry," I mumbled. "I'm kidding. I picked me a dragger. We didn't have a chance." His voice was smooth and confident. He was referring to the fact that the steer wouldn't lift his hind legs to be roped. "Good thing. I thought I blew it for you." "It takes more than a gorgeous woman perched on a fence to throw me off my game," he said, placing his hat back on his head. I never thought of myself as gorgeous, or even a woman, for that matter. My heart leapt and bounced inside my chest. He maneuvered his horse through the gate, hopped off, and led her into the corral where she came up to me again. "Bonnie likes you," he laughed. "You're the only one, besides me." I stepped down and began helping him remove her saddle and bridle. She's a fine horse. "She's a baby, a little too eager. But she'll learn," he said, almost to himself. "Bonnie, huh? Cute name. Are you Clyde?" I asked. He smiled, removed his hat, and reached his hand out. "Oh, excuse me, ma'am. Where are my manners? I'm Jake McCrea." I took his hand and shook it firmly. "Avelina Belo." "Beautiful and exotic name. It suits you." The corner of his mouth turned up into a handsome smirk. His eyes were the most vibrant blue. In the sunlight, it looked like little electrical currents circled his pupils.